of your resume and cover letter in front of you as you go through this video recording. I'd like to begin with why you want to write a resume. First of all, writing a resume helps establish a job focus for you. Second, it summarizes all of your relevant skills, your qualifications, and your experiences and achievement in one document. It also helps a hiring manager get to know what they need to know about you quickly. Finally, a resume is meant to get you an interview for the job you're looking for. An acronym that I often use with students when writing resumes is CHARM. C represents the central message. This central message allows you to communicate with the employer what job it is that you are looking for. You also need to target your resume towards the hiring manager and basically identify what skills you can provide them for that position. Your resume also needs to be accessed within 30 to 60 seconds. This is the average time a hiring manager puts into reviewing a resume for the position that they're hiring for. Most important is relevancy. The information included in your resume needs to be relevant to the position that you are applying for. This means you do not need to include every position that you have worked for in the past. Finally is the mechanics. You really need to focus on spelling, grammar, punctuation, and ensure that these are accurate within your resume. The types of resumes we're going to look at today first includes the chronological style resume. This resume format is excellent if you have a lot of direct related work experience. This allows you to identify to the employer how you would be relevant for that position. The next style of resume is a transferable skills or a skills-based resume. This style of resume identifies the skills that you have already learned in other work experiences but may not be quite the same. So you're transferring that skill to identify how it is relevant for the position that you are applying for. Finally, there is a combination style resume, and this includes a combination of chronological as well as skill-based. As we proceed, I will identify the differences between each of these styles of resumes. First, let's look at the frameworks or the headings for the styles of resumes. There's a slight difference between chronological and transferable, notably demonstrated skill sections within the transferable skills. This section is not usually included in a chronological. However, if you want to do a combination resume style, this is where you would include both a demonstrated skill section in the same headings as the chronological one. Start of your resume. This is where your name should be first and foremost. I would advise making your name stand out in a larger font or even a different font that you are using within your resume. You would include your current address. Now, often for students, they might have a current address, meaning their school address, as well as a home address. If you would like to include both, that's perfectly fine. It's just a way of the way you format it on your resume. Then your phone number. Again, please indicate if it's a home or a cell phone number, and you may want to provide both of those. Just to mention, when you have your voicemail set up and you are knowingly applying for jobs, please have a professional voicemail. Finally, your email. Again, my rule of thumb here is to not use an email that spells out anything other than your name. So often an email used with your friends may not be that same email that you use when you're sending out your resumes to employers. An example of how you may head your resume looks like this. Again, note how the name stands out. There's a telephone number, your address, and an email. This is where you get to be creative with your resume. There is no one format, there is no right or wrong. Be creative, but again, include all of the relevant pieces of information. Next is a career objective.